where we are turning back to tonight's top story. Governor Kathy Hochul has officially endorsed Zohran Mamdani for mayor, and that move comes weeks after growing pressure from progressive Democrats to unite behind the Democratic nominee. In an op-ed, Governor Hochul explained her decision, saying that while they had some disagreements, quote, "I heard a leader who is focused on making New York City affordable, a goal I enthusiastically support." The governor's stamp of approval is a big win for Mamdani, who is yet to receive endorsements from other top Democrats, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Joining me now to talk some politics and about his day job, we've got New York City Comptroller Brad Lander. Welcome back to the program. Always good to see you.
Great to be here.
We'll do the politics first, then we'll get to some other issues. Is the governor's endorsement too late to help? Is it helpful? What do you think?
No, I think it's a big deal. I give her credit for doing it, especially with the spirit of it's time for us to come together. Okay, it's after Labor Day, the race is on, but also Donald Trump is waiting in the wings, sending troops into other cities. New Yorkers have to come together. The affordability agenda is important. Positive vision for the future. I give the governor credit, and I hope other Democratic leaders will join her.
Does it matter to the outcome of the race for mayor who or whether the Senate Minority Leader and the House Minority Leader actually make any endorsements here?
To me, it's actually less a question of the outcome of the race and more a question of the unity of Democrats, but also of New Yorkers at this really urgent time. I think suggesting to Trump or to others that we're divided when we see what's happening in Washington or Chicago or Los Angeles, it'd be better if we've got unity.
Okay, let's talk about unity and solidarity. How often do you talk with the Democratic nominee?
I won't characterize the private conversations. We were honored last Wednesday night.
I just said how often. Not what you talk about.
Yes, I mean, we see each other at events in public where it's hard to have a private conversation with them, and then we talk privately once a week or so as well.
Okay, and what do you make of reports that President Trump is trying to make this into a two-man race?
I mean, the fact that Trump is alleged to be trying to clear the field or was trying to clear the field for Andrew Cuomo, and then Andrew Cuomo said he was fine with that or happy with it, that should be disqualifying all by itself. This is where I think when that happened, every Democrat should have come out and said, whoa, if Andrew Cuomo is happy with Donald Trump's help, we know which side we're on, and that's Zohran Mamdani's.
Well, I mean, what's the alternative, though? I mean, if the president steps in and wants to help clear the field for Andrew Cuomo, should he say, please don't, or I don't care, or I don't want that? That's exactly what he wanted.
He said that's what he wanted. He's playing footsie with it. But, is he on Donald Trump's side against Democrats, on Donald Trump's side against New York City? So, yeah, I mean, I guess if Andrew Cuomo and Donald Trump are peas in a pod, to me, Democrats, all Democrats, should say, okay, we're on the other side. We're going to support Zohran. As the governor said, you don't have to agree with them on every single issue, but he's got a focus on affordability, a positive vision for the future of the city. Let's build around that, show our unity, and move forward.
I'm sure you have heard the chattering classes, I guess of which I am a member, speculating that Brad Lander might be part of a Mamdani administration if he should win. What can you tell us about that?
Well, people say to me, is it too early to ask what you'll be doing next? And I say, it's not too early for you to ask, but it is too early for me to answer.
Interesting. When I spoke with him last week, Zohran Mamdani said that he has made no promises of any job to anybody, and that he's not going to be thinking about transition or working on transition or even forming a transition committee until after the election, which seems a little bit late. When you were the primary nominee for controller 4 years ago, your transition probably started before November.
Well, not publicly. I mean, the challenge is, of course, you can't announce an official transition committee or say anything public like that till after the election. So you're doing things behind, well, I can just say what I did 4 years ago for controller. I was doing a lot behind the scenes to get ready, talking to people, making sure I would be ready, so that as soon as the election was over, right afterwards, I could roll out a transition committee and a real clear plan.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm curious about because, frankly, as a New Yorker who's going to be affected by whatever comes out of City Hall about 100 odd days from now, I'd like to think that people were maybe making some plans.
I mean, look, I'm focused as a, sitting elected official on, and doing my job as in my, political capacity, focused on helping make sure he wins in November. It's appropriate for, members of the press like you, as you did the other day, to ask him questions. What are your policies are going to be? How are you getting ready? those aren't for me to answer.
Okay, let's talk about the question I have that everybody has. It's a big part of the race, of course, is the cost of housing. I've spoken with people who say that a big component, that will be addressed beyond the relatively small measure of freezing the rent are things like the high taxes that the apartment owners have. The cost of insurance, which is extremely high. You've developed housing, you know about these. You've run housing for a nonprofit organization. Is there any thought to sort of using those big leverages to move big numbers as opposed to a temporary freeze that did nothing to halt the upward march of prices in New York?
I mean, I would say it's both and. Obviously, if you're a rent-stabilized tenant, as a third of New Yorkers are, not having your rent go up is a big deal for you if you're not getting a big increase in your salary, and that helps you, meet all your other costs. But yes, these other things are absolutely critical. Insurance is one good example. I talk to building owners, not only who are paying insane prices for insurance, but in some cases can't even get insurance for affordable housing. So is there a great opportunity for the city and the state and private actors together to come together and say, what could we do to address the crisis of insurance on multifamily and affordable housing in New York City? Absolutely.
And that's not incompatible with what you've heard from Zohran Mamdani?
Not at all. Right? Quite the opposite. It goes together. You want to keep rents down. Let's help owners cover some of the costs they can. Look at property tax reform in Albany. Look at support for affordable insurance.
Let's talk about your recent report. You graded MTA buses. 186 of them got a D or an F. I think only a handful got an A.
Seven out of 332 bus lines.
Well, I thought congestion pricing was supposed to cure a lot of it.
Congestion pricing actually did make it a little better. We looked at the bus routes in the congestion pricing zone, and they're actually meaningfully more on time. But the problem is indeed much bigger. And yes, 56% of buses get a D or an F. In Manhattan, the average speed of some buses is 5 miles an hour.
Why is that?
Well, one, they really are caught in traffic all the time. So where there are dedicated bus lanes, that makes a big difference, and we need more of them. Like to get the MTA to do all-door boarding. They now have an Omni reader in the back of every bus, but they're still not letting people get on at both doors out of fear of fare evasion. So there are really good next steps here, and that's why Assemblymember Mamdani's plan to focus on buses, that's something the city and the MTA have to work together on, but more dedicated bus lanes, all-door boarding, more transit signal priority where the bus can move through a green that lasts a little longer, can speed up buses a lot.
Yeah, making people get on the front. I mean, as far as fare evasion, if they walk past and don't pay, there's no consequences anyway. Right?
And obviously, like on the train, you get on the train and then a staff comes through to make sure you pay. There's a lot of ways to do this more effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, an audit done by your office found that legally required services were denied to English language learners, people who were basically what used to be called English as a second language.
That's right.
Why is that happening?
Yeah. So 48% of kids that speak Spanish or Chinese or Bangla or Arabic aren't getting the services they're supposed to. We're having a hard time recruiting language competent teachers. 40% of the people even teaching those classes don't have language capacities. Of course, it's a resource issue and just a focus issue. This is almost 20% of our students. It's important to give them the services they need.
What's the recommendation?
Well, luckily they accepted most of the recommendations to increase recruitment of the teachers for these classes.
Okay, very good. Thanks very much, Brad Lander. Great talking with you.